All right. So, how's everyone? No, I mean, like, really, how are you? Yeah? Yeah, I don't know about me. I'm a little shook. Y'all drove in. Did you have to fill up your car? Got a little gas? Yeah. Check your power bill lately? I checked mine too. We got a misunderstanding with these power bills, but we'll talk about that momentarily. So, I think we've noticed a couple of things. And the biggest thing has been since the last election, I think we all went through somewhat of a culture shock. We were trapped in something that we thought was surreal. You were actually waiting for somebody to tap you on your shoulder and say, wake up, it's a dream, or more like a nightmare, right? In that time frame, I need us to draw attention to what actually rose up. There were things that did rise up when we transitioned to new leadership. Your grocery bills rose up. Your power bills rose up. And if you were an Amazon shopper but not a Prime member, your shipping and handling rose. It did. The cost of everyday living rose. Guess what else rose? Hatred. It became visible, more visible. Abuse of powers, that rose like no other. And the act of selective sabotage rose beyond recognition. And what I mean by that is the opposing party is willing to sacrifice anyone to accomplish something that will only benefit some of us. That's problematic. So everything rose that I just named, but there were also some things that did not rise. What didn't rise? Our communication efforts for our expectations of our elected officials. We should be wearing out their phone lines. We should be blowing up their emails. We should be talking about issues that impact us every day. And I know that most of us in this room do this, but what we've got to do is we've got to talk about it so much that people outside of this room is starting to get it as well. What else didn't rise? Across the state, the desire to hold those elected officials actually accountable for their actions. I think that should have taken over, and it hasn't as of yet. I know that some of us are still in that we told you so mode, but that's over. That's over. People don't understand that being able to not respond is a threat to democracy, and I'll tell you why. So in the last time when we had the election, I heard people say, we got 4 years, and people gonna find out. You know, the whole saying, F-A-F-O, right? Well, I want you to know that people have F-A'd, and they have F-O'd at this point. So people know exactly what we're dealing with. But I also want you to know that we can't keep waiting for people to find out where we are, because democracy is our right. And that is something that we have to fight for every day. Whether people we want to get elected or not, you still got to make sure you focus and fight for what's right. It's not optional. So I'll say it again. When you sit around and allow people to F-A-F-O, what happens is the targeted population gets attacked. Close your eyes. Who do you think is under attack? You don't have to answer out loud. But you know that population. And the population looks like everybody that's in that room. Women are under attack. The elderly population is under attack. Why are you battling costs? Do you pay for your power bill or do you pay for your insulin? That population is under attack. Children are under attack. Those are targeted populations. Those are vulnerable populations that are under attack. Some of those populations would be considered to be oppressed. So that's policies and procedures are deliberately holding them down and stopping them from moving forward. This is why democracy is a living, breathing thing. This is why you have to pour into it every day. If you sleep on it one day, it allows you to go to sleep and to wake up and find out you at war Then y'all go to sleep and wake up, and you wake up and you saw, okay, all right. So we have to fight for our rights. We cannot ignore that. And here's what I want you to remember me saying, among a lot of other things that I plan to say. But remember this one, and listen carefully to this. Every day that you are selectively quiet is one day closer to you being made permanently quiet. Every day that you choose not to stand up and say what is right. Every day that you choose to look away and say, oh, well, is a day that things, policies, and procedures are being put in place to make sure you won't have a day to come back and stand up. We've seen that happen. So it's our goal to fight to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So I'm the queen of analogies, so let me give you one and then I'm gonna get out of your way. Imagine you were in the ice storm that we had several months ago, and you're driving at a really good speed. I'm gonna say 70, because you know how we at like 25 is really an interstate and it's not. So I'm gonna say y'all doing 70 on that road, and it's a little icy, right? And so you hit a patch of ice. You panic. You hit the gas instead of the brake. You're panicking. You let go of the steering wheel. What happens? Bam, you crash. Okay, did y'all not realize that that's what we did after that last election? We took our hands off the steering wheel, we hit the gas, and we crashed. And now it's up to us to recover this vehicle, get back on the road, and kick butt. That's what we've got to do. So what are we going to do? When we took our hands off the steering wheel and we crashed, that was our goals. Personal, professional, state, local, national, crashing. That's what happened. Chances of having evidence-based, good quality health care, realistic health care in the state and at the nation's level, crashed. Chances of having good quality educational support for all levels of education, crashed. Chances to have the vulnerable population protected, and I'm including women and children, that crashed. Chances to protect human rights as we know them, crashed. Have you noticed that every time a candidate stands before you, they're talking about three main things? What do they always talk about? Tell me. What do you hear them talk about? Bathrooms? That's been a hot topic. I'm just trying to find the one I need. I'm not going to worry about everybody else. But driver's license? What about them? Oh, you talking about voting rights. Oh, look at that. Tori done threw in voting rights. What else? Think about this question. When candidates have come before you every election, what topics do they run on? Immigration is a topic that they run on. Immigration is a problem that I will continue to say is a politically profitable problem. This country, this state has been led by the Republican Party for decades. If it was truly a problem, they would have resolved it at that time. So it's not as big a problem as they try to say. Maybe work on identifying the processes that would make becoming a citizen easier. Streamline that process instead of spending so much money to tear apart. I like that. The three things that most candidates run on is education, health care, and, economy, cost of living and economy. We run on those things all the time. Why? We never fix them. Think about what you would have if you had candidates sitting in office who fix the problems that they run on year after year after year. That's what you want in office. You don't want people to keep showing up, saying the same things and not being held accountable and being able to show what they've done. You want candidates who will fix the problem. So I say to Greenwood, wake up. You don't have a choice at this point. And this message is for you to take back to your neighbors, families, and friends. It's time for everybody to put their hands back on that steering wheel. We have to regain control, and we got to regain it now, not later. Being reactive is what allows us to continue to stay behind the ball. We've got to be proactive. This is our turn to do what's right. So I think we should make like a power bill and rise up. I had laughed at my own joke. And take back what we know is the nation and a state that can really do great things. And don't let anybody tell you this, but South Carolina tell you anything opposite. South Carolina is an amazing state with a bunch of very, very intellectual, developed people. So I know what the numbers say where we rank in terms of school and education, but it's up to us to change it so that the people that are here are represented in the right way in those numbers. We got what it takes to run this. So let's stop sitting around and acting like we don't and get on the bandwagon. So are you guys going to be power bills or not? We're going to rise up and take back what we should have never had to fight for? Yeah, I think so. I think so. So how do we do this? Because you got to have an action item. Tori told you I'm a teacher. I'll be a teacher until the end. So what you need to do is sign up to volunteer for whatever candidate you want. My campaign manager is here. He's ready if you want to volunteer. And let me tell you what volunteering looks like. It can look like what you need it to look like. But the common characteristic is involvement. So don't back away from volunteering because it's definitely needed. You can donate. Doesn't matter the size. One sign may cost me $6. I think that's what it cost me before tariffs. It's probably going to cost me $25, $32 after tariffs. And then check your registration. Check your friends' registration, your family members' registration. Back July 2025, we did a purge. The state did a purge of inactive people. So if you hadn't voted, you were wiped. But you can easily get reinstated. So you need to make sure that you check and make sure that everything on your voter registration is accurate to prevent you from being delayed from voting. And then my last request, because you know in every election, it's not a one-person band show. It's all of us on deck to make a change. I need for you to identify 10 people that you will help get to the polls this election. And I know you probably won't see, I don't think if I'm primary, it'll be a June, but I haven't heard anything yet. But November, yes. But you definitely need to make sure you are still using your activism and load up your car and find 10 people you want to take to go and vote in the primaries. Because not only do you just need me at the State House, you need a lot of other people in place to make an effective change and to make that change last. And I think we can do that. Thank you guys for your time.